Hey there! Have you ever stopped to think about how, with just a single click, you can jump from watching hilarious cat videos to reading about ancient history? It's something we do every single day, but how does the web actually work? Well, in this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain on that everyday magic. So let's kick things off with a real head-scratcher, a question that trips up way more people than you think. Is Google a web browser? It sounds so simple, right? But the answer gets to the heart of a huge misunderstanding many of us have. Stick with me, and you'll know the answer for good. All right, first things first. We have to get our foundations right. You know how we use the words the internet and the web like they're the exact same thing? Well, they're not. So let's clear up that confusion right now. Let's try an analogy. Picture the internet as all the physical stuff, the massive global network of fiber optic cables, satellites, and servers. It's basically all the roads and highways connecting the entire planet. The World Wide Web, on the other hand, is all the stuff you find on those roads. It's the shops, the houses, the libraries, the information. So to put it really simply, the internet is the hardware, and the web is the software that runs on it. And you know, this distinction is so important because the web was a very specific invention. It was created by this guy, Tim Berners-Lee. He's the one who drew the blueprint for the information superhighway we all drive on today. So yeah, definitely a name worth remembering. Okay, so we've got the roads, that's the internet, and we've got the shops, that's the web. But how do we actually get around? Well, you're going to need a vehicle and probably a map. And this brings us right to our next big point of confusion, the browser versus the search engine. And here is where it all clicks. The web browser is a piece of software you install on your computer or phone. That's your car. You know, things like Chrome, Firefox, or Safari. Those are the vehicles you use to drive around the web. A search engine, on the other hand, is just a website you visit. It's your map or your GPS. Google or Bing, they don't actually take you anywhere. They just give you directions. You have to use your car, the browser, to go and visit the map maker, the search engine. Which brings us right back to our big question from the beginning. Is Google a browser? And the answer is a clear no. Google is the map. It's the search engine. The car you drive, the actual software, is called Google Chrome. It's a small difference in name, but it's a huge difference in what they actually do. All right, we've got our car, we've got our map. Now we just need to know how to read the street signs. And on the web, those signs on the web addresses, which are officially known as URLs. Let's break one down. So a URL, which stands for Uniform Resource Locator, if you're curious, is really just a very specific, unique address for any page or file anywhere on the internet. It's how your browser, your car, finds the exact digital shop you're looking for no matter where in the world it is. Okay, let's look at the parts. The very first bit is the protocol, like HTTPS. You can just think of this as the language the computers agree to speak. Now, sometimes you'll see HTTP, and sometimes you'll see HTTPS. That S is everything. It stands for secure. It means all the data flying between you and the website is scrambled and encrypted. Seriously, whenever you're about to type in a password or a credit card, always look for that little padlock icon. Right after that, you've got the domain name. In this case, it's KVS. This is just the memorable, unique name for the website. It's like the brand name of the shop you're walking into. And at the very end, you have what's called the top-level domain, or TLD for short. This is that little extension, like .nic, .in here. This part of the address gives you a quick clue about the type of organization it is, or even what country it's based in. And you see these all the time, right? .com is for commercial sites, .org is usually for nonprofit organizations, .edu means it's an educational institution, and .gov is for government sites. And then you have country codes, like .in for India. These little extensions can tell you a lot about a site before you even click. So we've used our car and our map to follow the address, and we've arrived at our destination. But when we walk in the door, what are we actually looking at? Let's take a quick peek behind the scenes and look at the web's secret language. So, the absolute bedrock, the foundation of pretty much every single web page is something called HTML. It stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and you can think of it as the skeleton of the page. It's the basic code that tells your browser, hey, this is a headline, this is a paragraph, and put an image right here. It gives the whole page its structure. Okay, next up, cookies. Ever wonder how a website somehow remembers that you're already logged in, or what you left in your shopping cart last week? Well, that's cookies. They're just tiny little text files that a website saves on your computer to remember things about you, all to make your experience feel a little more personal and seamless. And yep, this is exactly why you'll be looking at a new pair of shoes on one site, and then suddenly ads for those exact same shoes start popping up everywhere you go online. That is a cookie at work, telling other websites what you've been interested in. And finally, let's talk about the cache. And yes, it's pronounced cache. So when you visit a website for the first time, your browser has to download everything, the logo, the images, all of it. The cache is basically a temporary storage folder where your browser keeps that stuff. Why? So the next time you visit, it doesn't have to download it all over again, which makes the site load way, way faster. Phew, we have covered a ton of ground. We've gone from the giant roads of the internet to the secret languages that make websites work. So now let's retrace our steps just a little bit and put all this newfound knowledge to the test. All right, quiz time. Question 1. Looking at this list here, Safari, Chrome, Bing, and Edge, which one of these is not a web browser? Think back to our analogy. Which one is the map, not the car? If you said C, Bing, you are absolutely right. Bing is a search engine, it's the map, it's made by Microsoft, and their browser, their car, is called Microsoft Edge. Okay, one more question, and this one is super important for staying safe online. If you're doing something like online banking, which one of these protocols do you really want to see in that address bar? Is it HTML, FTP, HTTP, or HTTPS? And the answer is D, HTTPS. You got it. Remember that S stands for secure. I'm going to say it one more time. Always, always look for that little padlock before you type in a password or a credit card number. It is your best friend online. So the web can feel like this incredible, complicated magic trick, but now you actually know some of the secrets behind it. You get the difference between the roads and the shops, your car and your map, and you know how to read the signs for a much safer journey. So the only real question left is, now that you're a smarter driver, where will you choose to go next?